Welcome back to our social media platforms. If you're new here, please do subscribe. If it's on YouTube, tap the notification bell to be the first to get a notification whenever we post a new video. We appreciate the returning subscribers and I salute you. It's a beautiful week, and we are talking about spirituality in terms of elevation. You know what Vala's podcast is about, and I'm hosting a gentleman who's going to introduce himself. And after introducing himself, he's going to define for us what spirituality is and what it means to him. You're welcome, sir.
All right, everybody. I'd like to greet everybody. My name is Achiever Benz, and I'm a recording artist. I do a lot of things. It's a little bit hard to define myself in one aspect because I'm a little bit of both.
By both, what do you mean?
Like, wherever nature takes me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Achiever, today we are talking about spirituality in terms of elevation. At Val, as you know, we're about leveling up in every aspect of life. So today we are talking about spirituality. How do you define spirituality? And to start with, are you a believer? If yes, in what?
Spirituality to me is something I can't quite explain with a few words. I can't really come out and say spirituality is this and this because there is a little bit of depth inside the topic of spirituality. But if I'm to bring it to our listener who is watching the Vala's podcast right now, I would say spirituality is a belief in the non-material, something that's not physical, a sense, an inner belonging, where an essence of life that you can't quite really identify with the physical. It's something deep, it's something within, a realization within yourself about the universe and your alignment within it.
And I have a question for you. When you say it's a belief of realization of self within, does that take away the fact that there is a higher power, God, Allah, or however we try to define this? Because I've known people who are spiritual, who say as spiritual, they believe in self, which is a very beautiful belief, and they start questioning on whether to believe in God or self sufficiently.
God is an abstract term. God is not something. It's like a definition of that particular thing, because God is a noun, God is a word. But then there is something you're trying to describe. There's something deep you're trying to describe. But then people get lost with the noun. People get lost with the noun. And they lose meaning with what they are really actually trying to describe.
So how would you describe God?
I would describe God as the source of life.
So do you believe in God, you know?
I don't believe in a political God. God in a kingly sense.
Say that
God
again.
in a sense whereby he's king and he has servants or people who are supposed to take out his bidding or his rule. I don't believe God in such a manner.
In which aspect do you believe God?
I believe God in the expression of everything within real time. God is everything all within. God is the inside and outside of everything. There's nothing existent apart from God.
So you believe in the Christ within?
Christ
within. There is a difference between the Christ taught in churches and the Christ within. Would you care to tell us the difference between the two?
Christ to me is a state of mind. If you can reach to that state of mind, we classify you as Christ. For Jesus was a man, and in that time period, there were many people who went by the name of Jesus. That's why he was called Jesus of Nazareth. But then his awareness and his enlightenment at the state at which it was is what we refer to as the Christ. So everyone has a Christ within. It's about you to realize the Christ within you.
Wow, this is really deep. This is really deep. I want to take you aback on the part where you said God is a noun, because then it's going to raise a question of, do you believe in God? Even now I'm still perplexed. Take us back on that noun. Clearly define it.
God is a 3-letter word. A G, an O,
Okay.
and a D.
Okay.
That's an English word.
Mm-hmm.
How do you call it in your mother tongue? Many people call it differently in their mother tongues.
Mm-hmm. Katonda. My mother tongue, God is Katonda, and Katonda means creator. Okay? And I agree with you on the part of the Christ within or the God within, because even the very Bible says you are a co-creator with God. So you have the ability, the power to create worlds without from within.
True.
Okay? But I would love for you to elaborate for a religious person, and I'm sure you can differentiate between a religious person and a spiritual person. Or should we start with the definition of a religious person, if you don't mind?
A religious person is a person who subscribes to doctrine.
Powerful.
You understand?
Yes.
Because I can come up with a doctrine and say such and such is my doctrine. So I ascribe laws or tenets that go with that doctrine. And if I get people, I can convert into my own way of thinking, which is my doctrine. Then I've got followers. In other words, people you call religious people, because every religious person is following a religion. Not so?
Yes.
They believe in a certain religion.
Yes.
So a religion, as we have discussed, is a set of rules and laws on how you're supposed to behave. Religion, there's no religion without laws and rules. Every religion has rules and laws, trust me. There is a dividing line whereby they say, now, if you do like this and that, you're no longer part of this religion, because every religion has that line.
And in that very aspect, do you think or believe that the laws and rules of religion are what spiritual people break to become that? Because to me, most of them are limiting beliefs. For example, Muslims are not allowed to sell pigs, okay? But it's just a business. You could sell them, earn money. You don't have to eat them, okay?
True.
But because of religion, a set law like you've given, you are not even, some people find it so forbidden to even talk about it.
True.
You fear going to hell if you spoke about it, but you're living hell of poverty on earth, hell of lack, and you can't break a limiting belief of a religious set rules of doctrine for you to set yourself to create heaven, because we believe heaven is where wealth is, peace. But if you have money, there are people who have the money, it gives you a sense of peace. Okay, so in that sense, I would love for you to mention a few of the limiting beliefs you think have been set by religion, and clearly tell us, do you think by breaking those belief systems, you've now elevated to being a spiritual person?
Everything about religion is limiting in such a sense that the moment your head pokes out of the limitation, you're no longer part of the religion. I would say there are norms, religious norms that people have got to break, and maybe some have turned spiritual as a result of that. But from a sense where I'm coming from, when you get real spirituality, you understand there are no rules or laws to be broken. Everything is in perfect alignment right now. The rules are made up by these other bodies, the religious bodies, your mind. You know, you have these different constructs where you create your own limitations. And somehow, if you cross those limitations, you put the blame on yourself, like you're playing a game on yourself and you like that game. You like the game you're playing.
Do you really think people place these limitations on themselves? Or is it the system? In one of our videos, if you're a follower, I did speak about limiting culture, limiting beliefs and their stems. Okay. It comes from culture, from our education system, from religion, from societal norms. Do you think people self-impose limiting beliefs? I personally believe the battle is within. Not because we self-impose limiting beliefs, but because of the culture and the above that I've mentioned that have conditioned us to think and act a certain way. That if you broke the rules and tried to be extraordinary and try to see what's on the other side of life, then you've become a black sheep of society. Then again, my question to you is, do you think limiting beliefs are self-imposed?
I think it serves both in such a sense. As a result of society or of these different bodies that are so influential in society, examples, political bodies, religious bodies, different bodies. So when it comes to religious bodies, they have imposed a certain set of conduct that people have to abide by. And when you grow up, you grow into a belief system and you harbor that belief system, and it reaches a time where you love your belief system because it's the only thing within that moment that you are aware of. You haven't yet stepped outside. You're still within the limitations. You haven't gone past the limitations. So the religious bodies set the playing field, but once you're in the play, you also continue to self-inflict on yourself. If you understand what I'm saying.
By allowing to believe what someone is telling you without question.
It reaches a time where you also like the game. You like the blame game. You like the imaginations. You like going to heaven. You like the stories that they tell you.
And do you then believe that you can create your own heaven on earth?
With the right awareness.
Do you believe in hell? Do you believe in hell and heaven?
I don't believe in hell as a physical place. I believe in hell as a state of mind.
Wow. Elaborate on that.
Hell,
I personally would think hell is negative thinking. Hell is a state of mind that leads you to every unwanted result in your life. And the most beautifully packaged way to define hell for me is when people dream of, they tell us to dream big, okay? Dare to dream big. But when you dream big and things are coming to you in reality, then you actually fear what you dreamt of. Yeah, people think of fast cars, but when they actually gift it to you, you self-doubt that you are deserving of that. That is what I describe as hell. Kindly elaborate on how you describe hell as, because I want to believe we're on the same page. The whole physical aspect of hell being a place with so much coal of fire, you can't have water, you'll forever be burning. I'm kind of suspenseful on that.
Hell to me is more as your disattachment from the one body. Because everything is one. We call you Raquel. You have eyes, you have a nose, you have a mouth, you have hands. Your hands can come out and say, I myself am Raquel. No. The whole body has to be attached. So the universe is one body. Then you have all these other elements that you consider different. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when you reach a time and you disattach yourself, I would call it, you go more into your ego.
Is ego then a beautiful thing or bad?
It's a double-edged sword. It's both beautiful and bad.
How?
Because if we had no ego, right now, everyone would be doing the same thing at the same time. But it's that sense of ego that makes other people feel like, no, I need to achieve more. No, I'm comfortable with this. I'm this. Like, ego creates an individuality that creates a sense of community within us, because we are one body, but then we can't be doing the same thing at the same time. So we have ego. Ego is such important in that way, in that regard, that everyone can be doing something separately. But ego is bad when you get obsessed with it. Because with ego, you find attachment.
To what?
Ego is me, and it wants what's mine. That's mine. My car.
Do you then disregard vanity? Because at some point, I do tell my viewers that vanity is an act of self-love. And if you say wanting wanting the good for yourself is ego.
No, I'm still describing the hell.
Okay.
The hell that you're in.
Okay. Oh, so, no, not me. Dear viewers, not me.
No, I'm talking to everyone right here. I'm talking to everyone right here.
Carry on.
So, once you detach yourself from the one body, then you fall into yourself. Then you think everything is different. Then you're going to look at everything as different. Oh, these are different people. Oh, look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the birds. Now you get lost in the differences that are happening within the one. But if you realize that you're just an aspect of the one, a different expression of the one, you're just a different expression of the universe.
As the book says, everybody is uniquely designed. So I want to believe there's nothing wrong with being different in the oneness.
True. There's nothing different.
Okay.
The problem is you obsessing with the oneness and taking it to another level. Look at the problems in the world, what we consider as bad, or what we consider the hell on earth right now. Wars. Who are benefiting from the wars? Whose agenda is the war serving? Look at all the famine. You have all these rich people rated by Forbes, but you still have famine in the world. You have a family that can feed the whole world, but somehow you have famine in the world.
Do you then urge the rich people to get from their hard-earned wealth, come distribute it to the poor or the vulnerable, just because they should let their ego down?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is more deeper than that.
Please explain.
What I'm trying to say is, as a result of everyone falling into their oneness and not realizing the workings, the dynamics of the whole, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. The trees are breathing out oxygen. You're breathing in oxygen and they are breathing in carbon dioxide. So everything is complementing the other. There's nothing that's separate. There is no you without me. If I think about it, you can't say you unless there is me. So you and me are one thing. You understand? You and me as one thing. So the moment you fall into me and you don't consider the other as being part of you, then that's hell. Because everything that's going to happen to you, you're going to say, the world is bad. This and such as, how can such and such happen to me? Not knowing that it's serving the bigger picture of the one as a whole.
Well, thank you so much, Achiever, for sharing this beautiful knowledge with us. I really do want to host you again because what you're sharing is really deep. And I would love for our viewers that are interested in hearing more from Achievers to write in our comment section below. Just write Achievers. Okay, and if you have any other question, leave space.
It's Achiever.
Achiever. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Achiever.
Thank you for correcting me. If you'd like to hear from Achiever again, kindly comment in the section below. Comment section, write Achiever, space, your question to him, and we will be reading out those questions to him. Before we close, I would love for you to tell our viewers or listeners what are some of the most obvious limiting beliefs that have been said from culture, education system, political system, spirituality, friends, societal norms, name it. give us some of the most obvious limiting beliefs that are tying our people back from self-elevation.
I would say identity. How are you identifying yourself? Because you're using language to identify yourself. And you're something language can't identify. To such a point, words can't identify you. You're too complex for what to understand. If a person sits down and say they are describing you, then they are going to describe the things
You have done.
they are conscious of, things they are perceiving in real time. But there are things about you that you're also not perceiving. There are elements about you you're not perceiving in real time. As right now, we are speaking. Let me give you an example. We are speaking, you're looking at me and I'm looking at you. But all over us, there are things happening.
Sure.
But our conscious attention is within this dialogue right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things about you that you can't perceive in real time. And as a result, your identity has been hijacked. They have hijacked your identity and they have given you a wrong sense of identity.
Disclaimer, not me. I know my identity.
No, I'm
so-
talking to the what?
to the crowd.
Yeah, to the crowd. We are discussing.
Yeah.
I might be part of what I'm saying.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, as your identity has been hijacked, you now view yourself as something that is separate within the environment. You have this standpoint where you're like, I'm me, and that's the world. It's not like that. You're the world. The moment you realize that you're the world, then you will do what's necessary to preserve the world. But the moment you classify yourself as me, you're going to do what's necessary to preserve you, which might come at the cost of others. You understand? So, once you limit yourself to that knowledge of you knowing that you're part of the all, you're going to do things that don't serve the whole. You're going to do things that serve you. At the end of the day, it won't work out.
In a sense, what I'm picking from the identity limiting belief is, are you trying to tell people to be more invested in their communal wealth, in their social wealth?
That's one aspect of putting it. I might not really put it like that. I'm describing something deep, but I don't know how I can really bring it out.
Well, Achiever, we would love to have this conversation endless times. And I believe with the comment section filling up with your name, which I see coming, we will host you again. I'd love for you to just outline the limiting beliefs. You've already told us identity and you've gone deep, a bit deep on it. I'd love for you to just outline the limiting beliefs and let the viewers comment on which limiting belief they would love for you to tackle, because I believe all these are broad topics that we can't tackle just right about
True.
now.
True.
So if you don't mind, can you give us at least about 10? Structure them and let the viewers point at which one they would love for you to
There
start
is a
with.
limiting belief of you not being enough. Somehow you're not enough. And also goes back to my first point, identity. All the things arise from identity. You feel like you're not enough. There's nothing you can do out in the world that's enough. That's why you go to all different houses of worship, because you really want to get filled. There's something that's lacking in you. So they have told you that you're not enough so that they could heal you. And who is benefiting from all that? You are already enough. That's a limiting belief you should put out of your brain.
Mhm.
You're not enough. You're not worthy.
Mm.
You know, I'm a servant. There's someone I have to serve.
Mm-mm.
It's not like that. You're serving yourself. And in yourself, meaning everything is you. Everything you're perceiving is you. You just have to be conscious at a certain level to realize it's you. You understand?
Yes.
So that's one limiting belief I would like us to discuss in broader concept some other time. Then there's also a limiting belief of people. I don't know how can I put this. There's a limiting belief whereby people are thrust into these systems whereby they have to keep on giving. Somehow they have been hijacked and they have been told, if you don't give,
You won't receive.
you won't receive.
They are serving a god of what? An arm for an arm.
True. So,
And yet the same Bible teaches a God of grace.
however much you give, they will say it's not enough. However
True.
much you give. So you have this belief whereby you feel you always have to give, but you're even
For
not
you to
giving
receive.
in the right sense of giving, because you're actually giving, anticipating something in return. You're giving, anticipating redemption. That's not giving. How can you give anticipating redemption? Somehow, if I give, I'll get redemption in the end. No, you give because you're giving to yourself, because everything is you. As I said, you're giving to yourself. You feel like you're giving someone else. And I know how it feels, because within the right state of consciousness, that's how you're really doing what?
That's why
Perceiving.
you derive satisfaction.
Yeah,
You
that's
think
what-
by giving you're doing justice. Well, I'd like to sum this very beautiful topic up. Thank you so much for sharing this knowledge with us. I look forward to hosting you on another spiritual elevation. I believe we need to awaken people spiritually. We need to teach them positivity. We need to teach them that the seed is within.
True.
A lot of people are looking for rich outside, like you said, in temples and wherever. But for today,
It's not
we-
outside.
it's
You're
within.
that very thing you're looking for.
The seed
You're
is
that very thing you're
within.
looking for. You just have to be conscious of it.
Exactly. Thank you so much for listening in, for viewing today. And again, do not forget to subscribe if you're new here. Our YouTube channel, The Valas Podcast, on other social media handles, the same name. It's been your co-host, Raquel Nala. And I would like for Achiever to say goodbye so we can close this
I sign out as usual. Thanks for hosting me, Raquel.
anytime.
Peace.